Yes, I just. Can I get a first place, right? Yeah, oh, great. Thank you so much everyone for joining in. I know you must have covered a number of cybersecurity companies or probably the IPOs over the period of time. And let me tell you, this is a little bit different. It started when I just joined my college, right? So I was in NIT Allahabad, a very renowned institute. Generally, previously you used to go via an entrance exam called AEEE, now it's called IIT JEE, right? When I was there, and I did not touch computers till the time I was in college, right? I was majorly a grad who was like doing excellent in academics. When I reached there, I created my first email ID and first Facebook account and all of those things that the kid does, right? A 16-year-old or 17-year-old kid. And what happened so far is, after a certain point of time, I received an email, right, on my mailbox. And what I did is I just clicked on that email, and it was exactly looked like a Gmail page. So I clicked on that, I put up my ID and password, and as soon as I hit on click, my account got hacked. Not only the Gmail account, but my Gmail account was connected to Facebook. They hacked Facebook, and if you look at cybercrime data and cyberbullying and all of those things, people, generally the kids that I've seen so far, they go do suicide and all of those things when someone posted the wrong video footage and all of those things, right? The thing that I did is, thankfully, my room number was 86. My co-founder who was here, Paratosh, we come from same batch, same college, same hostel, right? So we've been together from last 2011. So I went to him and I just said, this is what has happened. Paratosh, tell me what exactly we can do. He said, let's investigate. And honestly, we were just kids, right? There was the two-step verification that you see today, it was not there. The HTTPS that you see today, it was not there. So there was nothing in terms of cybersecurity that you see when we started this, right? Then we got to the college class, so we did not have our own computer, like I said. We're just using the common area computers. We started investigating how an attack can happen. And let me be very honest, we are able to figure out there are hundreds of ways. That was one of the ways, which is called phishing. But there are hundreds of ways by which you can hack an account. You can divert the entire traffic, you will be surprised. People can open your account without ID and password. Can you guess this? Without ID and password. They don't need your ID and password. They just use your cookies and they just install that cookie back in the browser and done. Because whenever you refresh your Facebook page or Instagram page or a LinkedIn page, it's not asking password again and again. So it has some mechanism. So there are n number of ways by which you can hack it, right? Then we figured out that if this is a problem for a kid like me, this could be a big problem, right? There was nothing fancy like startup. There was nothing on that side. We thought, let's build something together, right? Let's just see. In that case, again, Deepjan also was my batchmate, and we was parallelly working on a lot of stuff in college, organizing event, doing management and whatnot. So we both come from a kind of management background of managing a lot of things within the college, right? So we thought, let's just do a little bit of research. We researched and we find out 90 to 95% of the problem in cybersecurity is because of human. So all the attacks that you see, so be it Iran recently attacked US, which is a public news called Stryker. There's a company called Stryker, right? That got hacked. You talk about any large nuclear power plant attack. You talk about any large bank which is getting hacked. It starts always from a human. Human receives something, they click on something, and they kind of get into that mass, right? So the first access starts from a human. That's where we started thinking that let's build this company and we'll solve this problem of a human and then we'll take it forward. That's where the Kratikal born, and this was second year of our college, we registered this company. The company that you see was registered in second year of college is 2013, and from moving forward, we passed out in 2015, right? We give it a continuity. Again, we had great jobs, honestly. So I had multiple jobs, he had multiple jobs. One of the best part that happens with a kid, right, who's trying to start, there is nothing in terms of risk. So my pocket money, probably let's say 1,000 rupees a month, right? I can still survive on that. And we thought, let's give it a try for 3 years. If not, we are capable enough to get the jobs, right? So I and Paratosh left all of those things directly from Allahabad to Delhi. We came and then we started working. Meanwhile, Deep joined Paytm. So whenever you're doing metro charge or electricity bill payment, he's the guy who will help build those two which are in Paytm, right? So we just took a office just behind Paytm to kind of work on this idea, and for next 2 years, or roughly around 2 years, we kind of work in a stealth mode. Stealth mode meaning trying to build a product, trying to identify the niche, and all those things. In 17, that's where we say that where we started. So we got funded by a very excellent guy called Amit Gupta, who was an angel investor as well. So he wrote the first check, which was a very small amount of money. But that's where he left the job, he went joined full time, right? So that's the story of us, right? So like I said, this story that it's not a business which is like coming from generations. It's not a business. We do not have an experience in terms of building businesses. We struggles, we learned, and we kind of successes in that entire journey. So I've already talked about what the journey is. Let me just talk about a little bit about our credential and experience that we have. I and Parathos has written 5 different books on cybersecurity. So 3 of them are available on Amazon Kindle. We already filed 3 patents. Some of the patents are actually powering our current products. One of the patent is when the anti-spoofing tool, generally that takes 24 to 48 hours to get a report who hacked your account. We made it into 56 milliseconds, right? So that's like, there are a number of things that we are able to do over the period of time. Apart from this, we have Shikha, who's been working with us. Like I said, the 17 is something that we feel as a breakthrough in our company. So she joined us in 18. She has been continuously working with us. Naman joined us in I think 18 or 19, and he just had he gone back for a year to experiment something and then come back again. We have Mr. Vinay again. He's been with us from 2019, right? So he was previously managing the entire finance. Now he's the CFO of our company. Anmol is our company secretary, who's kind of managing all of our compliance and all those stuff. We have an excellent board, right? And it is like very chosen board. And the reason you will understand, right, was once I give an intro. Mr. Anand so we need someone in finance. So we put up Mr. Anand. He was a CFO for a very large company called Opus Group Consulting. And he kind of sold that company to a large payment aggregator in the US. So he comes with a very deep expertise in finance. So whenever we have any problem in finance, we go to him and ask those questions which is required. Mr. Sanjeev comes from, again, very rich background in IT. He was a scientist or a developer in DRDO. Then he moved to a Canon. Then he moved to as a CEO of a company called Impact QA. Now he runs his own practice, right? So he comes with a deep expertise in terms of your IT. Then we have Ms. Shubhi Kesarwani. Shubhi works with government. She was working with the CM for Haryana. There's a scheme called CGMMC. So she had a deep root expertise in government. So we kind of built a board which can help us out, let's say finance, tech, as well as the government, possibly associations, right? So that's what the team is comprises of, along with 200 plus amazing people. Just wanted to highlight that our office boy is still with us from last 6 years when we had a proper office, right? So the most important thing that we value as a company is the humans that works with us, right? And the people that works with us. We operate in 2 different businesses, right? While we are working in the product, I think we looked into the PPT or the video that we just showed. So if you look at cybersecurity, it is divided into people, process, and technology, right? People as humans, like you had a fraud, and I'm pretty sure everyone must have received a WhatsApp or a fraud call or your this digital arrest, and all of those stuff, right? We kind of actually solve that problem, but we solve that problem at an enterprise level. We are not in the B2C space. Like we don't do it for individuals. We sell it to the enterprises, and the enterprises use that to secure their employees, right? So that's where the threat cop comes in play. I think Deep from my team will give you a much more understanding on what threat cop does. The second business vertical we have is called Kratikal, which focuses on technology and processes. One of the examples that I can give you what we do in Kratikal as in technology. Have you seen this recent abduction or whatever it is? I don't want to quote anything on that line, but US has taken out the Venezuela president, right? There is a very important news which was missed out in that entire operation, that the light was cut for 30 minutes in that city. So if you go, just do a little bit of Google, you'll understand. Can you imagine a city's light being cut for 30 minutes to do something on a national security? Right? That's one of the biggest thing of cybersecurity, right? So what the people were able to do, and again based on the facts on internet, that they were able to kind of hack the system, shut it down for 30 minutes, and then it came back, obviously, right? So these are the vulnerabilities in the system, right? This is what we identify. So we work with one of the largest company in Saudi, right, which is like largest electricity company in Saudi, where we are auditing this kind of stuff. So let's say someone today with our national security comes in and they try to audit, like do the same kind of stuff. We are kind of able to identify those loopholes beforehand and fix those loopholes, right? That's what Kratikal does in a very OT environment. I think the Paratosh will cover most of the stuff what we do in the business, but I want to give you a glimpse of it, right? So I had a goosebump when I was stand up on for Jargon One, right? And I did this in my entire life. We are the company who will be truly a cybersecurity company who will build in India and sell outside. We will talk about numbers. 30% of the revenue right now, even for Kratikal, before going for an IPO, comes from outside. The entire IP has been built by Indians, and it will be built by Indian itself, right? And we take proud of that, right? I actually feel like, right, the reason I'm here. So I come from a very, very humble background, a very small village in Agra. A guy who did not had money to pay his tuition fees. The government paid that tuition fee. I don't know, the government, the bank paid as a loan. But I'm standing because we have an ecosystem where that you study great, right? The ecosystem supports, right? So people say a lot of things about government, but I am pro-government always. It doesn't matter which government it is, right? So I think the ecosystem that we are able to build, and I really wanted to make that feeling again that, okay, we built something in India, and kind of the US governments, by the way, we have some customers, the US government uses the product that we have right now, right? So we had again, let's go into financial, we have 36.7 crore revenue, we had a 24%, 73% EBITDA, 70% kind of PAT, 34.95% ROE, and 34.35% ROCE. The IT industry is very big, right, in India. I think we have seen all of those things. But if you look at cybersecurity industry, when we started, think like this is 2019, right? So if this would have been 2011 or 12, there is no cybersecurity kind of industry when it was existed. That's where we started, right? Right now it's 13.6 billion. It is increasing, and this is only India. This is not outside India, right? It is increasing roughly around 20% on a CAGR. And because of this AI that is coming, if you look at Gartner's data, the spending in cybersecurity is doubled. So the people are paying 10 rupees previously, now they're spending 20 rupees to secure their infrastructure, right? And it's always going to be a fight between bad people and good people, right? So we are on the other side of the table where we defend you from those bad people, right? One of the important points that I want to highlight, it's a very small market size when you go global. The total market size for our category, there are 75 categories in cybersecurity, we operate in 5 to 6. The total size of our category is more than 36 billion, right? Let me give you a perspective. The companies that we compete with in the US, and it's a publicly listed company, so I can state the numbers, called Proofpoint does $2.5 billion revenue. It's not a market cap. It's not the market size. It's the revenue. And we are, if you look at, like, I just multiplied $80, and not even 5 million, right? The kind of growth that you can anticipate from those customers and the market is tremendously huge. And that's what we're going to write the story of Indian cybersecurity ecosystem, right? So we are a certain compliant, right? Certain is like a CAs for security audits, right? So the way you audit the balance sheet, the same way certain audits securities infrastructure. The way, think like the example that I give from a national security standpoint of auditing, let's say largest Saudi electricity company in Saudi, right? The same happened with India also. India has a very, very good regulations, be it by SEBI, RBI, your IRDA, and all of those things. So anyone who do audit, the report has to be signed by a certain impaneled auditor, and we have been impaneled from last 5 years, right? So we have a very good business coming from that side. Most of the business that we do is a regulatory tailwind. So every company needs those compliances, those softwares, either they buy it from me or someone else. And this is like across the globe. It's not like only in India. So if you go for a Saudi, it's an NCA compliance. If you go for Dubai, it's a different compliance. Oman, different compliances. Indonesia different compliances. Let's say Indonesia's largest bank runs on us, right? Indonesia's largest oil and marketing company runs on us, right? The total revenue from products is roughly around 53.77, which is like 54% of the revenue comes from pure play products, right? The total revenue that's coming from services, again, in services, we don't do resource argumentation. The people come to the portal, put up a lead, we get that lead, create an account on our platform, and then there's automation which automatically tests all those infrastructures, and then kind of by humans verify that, and if there's something missing, they do audit of that, right? That's what we call services, which is like 46% of the revenue, right? I think so. I'll invite Deepjan, who's my buddy from college, and also he manages the entire ThreatCop division in Kratikal. So over to you, Deep, to explain the product that we have.